Welcome back to the Creation Station's Fiction Kitchen. Here we'll show you how to recreate food from books, television, video games, and movies. In this episode, we'll show you how to make chicken McNuggets and Szechuan sauce that appeared in Season 3, Episode 1 of Rick and Morty. These recipes require a lot of ingredients, so be sure you get them prepared ahead of time. In addition, if you'd like to add spice to your Szechuan sauce, you can add red pepper. For chicken nuggets, you can use a substitution of gluten-free flour if you are gluten intolerant.
In 1998, they had this promotion for the Disney film Mulan, where they created a new sauce for the McNuggets called Szechuan Sauce, and it's delicious. And then they got rid of it, and now it's gone.
McDonald's did in fact release the Szechuan sauce mentioned in the April 1st, 2017 episode of Rick and Morty in June of 1998. After hearing the demands of the fans, McDonald's decided to release the Szechuan sauce again on October 7th of 2017, and then again on February 26th of 2018. The following is a modified version of the Baking with Babish recipe. First, you'll need a half cup of water. Then 1/3 a cup of white vinegar, half a cup of white sugar, a half a cup of soy sauce, or 1/3 for less sodium, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, a half a teaspoon of sesame oil, a 1/4 a teaspoon of onion powder, a 1/4 a teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/4 teaspoon of yeast extract, 1/4 teaspoon of corn syrup, fresh ground pepper to taste, 2 tablespoons of corn starch, and 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. To get started, add water to a medium-sized saucepan. Next, add your vinegar, and then add soy sauce. If it's too salty, just add less soy sauce the next time. Set to medium-low heat, and then add the white sugar. Whisk it all together, and then start adding your other ingredients such as the apple cider vinegar, the sesame oil, your onion powder. Go ahead and whisk it up a little bit. Then add your ground ginger and whisk that material into your liquid. Then add your yeast extract. I'm using Marmite, which I had to purchase off of Amazon, but if you have any specialty stores, they might carry it there. Go ahead and whisk that really well until the yeast is dissolved. Then go ahead and add your corn syrup and then whisk that. Add your ground pepper. If you want a little spice, you can go ahead and add some red chili flakes. And then you're going to take 1/3 a cup of your sauce out and add it to your cornstarch. We're going to mix that well so there aren't any clumps. And then we're going to take some liquid out of the saucepan and add it to our xanthan gum. You're going to want to spend a minute or two whisking that. It's going to have a few clumps in it, but don't worry. Go ahead and put the cornstarch mix back into your saucepan. Mix it really well. And then get a strainer and strain your xanthan gum mix. I used a fork to make sure I moved the liquid out and you're going to get kind of a paste with your leftover xanthan gum. Mix your sauce constantly until it starts to thicken. Once your sauce is thick enough, go ahead and remove it from the heat. Next, place a strainer over a heat-safe container and go ahead and strain your sauce. You'll then want to move the sauce around the strainer to ensure the liquid falls through and all the lumps are caught in the strainer. Then you'll want to let it cool either on the counter or once it's cool enough, place it in the fridge until you're ready to serve.
McNugget sauce! I want that Mulan McNugget sauce, Morty!
The McDonald's Chicken McNugget was created by executive chef Rene Arned in 1979. McDonald's globally released their McNuggets in 1983. This has been a staple since then, and in 2016 decided to remove preservatives. McNuggets are also known for their playful shapes. You have the ball, the bell, the bone, and the boot. Let's get started. First, you will need a few cups of cooking oil. Next, you'll need 2 pounds of ground chicken. You'll also need 2 teaspoons and 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 2 half teaspoons of MSG, 2 cups and 3/4 cup of flour, a 1/4 cup and a 1/2 cup of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of white pepper, 1 teaspoon of celery seeds or ground celery powder, 1 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 cup of chilled water, and 2 eggs. You can also create your own 3D printed chicken McNugget molds. Now let's go ahead and prepare our protein. Go ahead and unwrap your ground chicken. Next, add 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. Then add 1 teaspoon of white sugar and a 1/2 teaspoon of MSG. Once added, mix thoroughly by hand. Next, you'll want to take a cooking sheet and spread the meat mixture very thinly on the sheet. Once done, go ahead and set it aside in your freezer for about 30 minutes to harden. Now let's prepare our dredged dry mix. First, you'll add 2 cups of flour or gluten-free flour, then 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of MSG, 1 teaspoon of white pepper, and 1 teaspoon of celery powder. Go ahead and whisk the dry ingredients thoroughly. Now let's make our tempura mix. First, you'll need a 1/2 cup of cornstarch, 3/4 cup of flour, 1 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and then go ahead and whisk your dry ingredients together. Next, you'll add 2 large eggs and whisk it into your mix. Finally, add 1 cup of chilled water and mix thoroughly. You'll want to make sure that the batter is completely smooth and that there are no lumps. If you happen to notice that the batter is rather thick, go ahead and add more chilled water until it is a nice, smooth, runny consistency. By this time, your meat should be firm enough to take out of the freezer. Go ahead and try to make molds of the McDonald's McNugget shapes. Or you can freeform to whatever shape you'd like. Then you'll want to dredge the meat into the dry mix and then keep it chilled until the next step. For the next step, you'll want to take each nugget and dip it into the tempura batter and then drop it into a pot of hot oil. You'll want to make sure that the oil is at 350 degrees Fahrenheit and cook each nugget for approximately 8 minutes, flipping halfway through. Then, when they're done, go ahead and drain the nuggets and let them rest. To get that extra crispiness the Chicken McNuggets from McDonald's are known for, go ahead and add your chicken back into the hot oil for an additional 3 minutes. Afterwards, go ahead and drain them and pat them down to remove the excess oil.
Show me what you got!
Plate your nuggets, add your sauce, and enjoy! Thank you for watching this episode of Fiction Kitchen, a Creation Station production. We'll see you soon, makers!